Hi, my name is Keegan Gallagher. I am taking computer science and software engineering through Gull Lake High School's Career and Technical Education Department through CTE and EFA. Today I'm going to be showing you how I installed Linux Virtual Machine on my host computer using VMware Host Hypervisor. A hypervisor is a crucial piece of software that makes virtualization possible. It creates a layer that separates the actual hardware components like RAM and other physical resources from the virtual machines and the operating systems they run. So they are on the same computer, but the virtual machine does not affect it. So if I were to mess around in the virtual machine, it would not affect my host system, and my host system is Windows 10. So if I were to say have Linux on top of my Windows 10, doing something on my Linux would not affect the Windows 10 at all. So the reason I would use a hypervisor is because there's no difference between a physical and virtual environment uh, for the virtual machines. So they don't it doesn't matter if it's directly on my desktop or if it's in the cloud somewhere. So if I have a type 1 hypervisor, that's where it's just built into my computer, that's like my Windows 10, while I have a type 2 hypervisor which kind of take they're guests on my desktop, so that would be like Linux and other types of operating systems that I put on top of it. Now, um, to to make a virtual machine work, I have to pull up my system settings so I can get some information first about certain things that I need before I set it up. The first thing I would look for is RAM and my memory, which RAM stands for Random Access My Hardware Space, so I can find exactly how much I am working with. Running a bit slow right now, I apologize, but here I can see my space. Um, on this drive, I have 311 gigabytes of free space, and it's usually 476. So when it's like this, I will give over about 40 gigabytes to my virtual machine because I wish I could give it all of it, but I still need my host computer to be able to do things. So to set up a virtual machine, I am going to use this, which is a VMware workstation, which this is basically the way that I can it it sets up the virtual machine for me and it puts it all in one place so I can edit the settings. So if I go into the settings, here you see my memory for it, my processor, and my uh, storage that I have for it. So this has to do with all the stuff I just looked at so that I can see how much it's using. So once I know how much it's using, I can then turn it on. So while it's loading up, it takes a bit, but the reason that I would use a virtual machine is for things like hacking or learning a new operating system or new software. And the beautiful thing about a virtual machine is I can mess with it all I want and it will not affect my host computer whatsoever. I can back up everything and just bring it all back immediately so I won't lose anything if I don't want to. It's a very powerful tool to do things that are usually risky, so I can do whatever I need to do right here to test it first. So here I put in my oh, I put in the wrong password, I think. So while this is loading, as you can see, I can personalize my virtual machine and make it whatever background I'd like. I can also go to my File Explorer, and it's just like the File Explorer on Windows, where I can go in here and go through anything. Uh, it has the visual buttons to click, which is different from the usual Linux, which is where I would open up a terminal to type in stuff. Like I can type in change directory to documents, and oh, I forgot to. There, and now I'm in the document category, and I can search for anything. Like I can list what's in here, and there's nothing in there, so it'll just come up with this. And oh, I'm not quite sure what that was, but anyways, with this, the terminal is a lot more powerful than clicking with your mouse, because the way it's just directly sending a message to the system. So that what's really nice about that is that if I need to update and I don't want to go through all this extra stuff of clicking all these buttons, I just say update this and it does it. And the nice thing I like about the virtual machine is I can make it my own by setting up my graphical user interface, or GUI, like how I make the background image like this, and I could also make this bar right here, and I can put whatever I want over here. I can get all these apps, and I could get whatever app I need that I could get on a normal one. It just sometimes it takes some extra work, but pretty much I can do whatever I want on this that I can do on another computer without any of the repercussions. So I think that's what's really nice about it, and I think that's really cool. And this is my very rough version of a virtual machine. I'm clearly not an expert, but if you have any questions, you can leave a comment or you can contact me on my ePortfolio. And I'd just like to thank you for watching this video, and have a wonderful day.